Good day! Welcome to our class in Advanced Communication Skills. We are already on week 2, and I hope that as you listen to me right now, you are ready to learn and gain new information, of course, about grammar and language that will help you in your professional and even personal life. Shall we begin now? As you know, we are already on week 2, and for week 2, our focus is still on the sentence and its basics. For this week, you will learn about 3 things. First is recognizing complements. Next, recognizing sentences and fragments. And lastly, correcting run-on sentences. Okay, here we go. Recognizing complements. What are complements? So as you know, we have talked about the sentence last week. It consists of a subject and a predicate. So many times, a subject and a verb or a predicate are sufficient to express a complete thought. For example, the price of coffee has risen. The subject in this sentence is price, and the verb has risen. The plane crashed. In this sentence, plane is the subject, crashed is the verb. In these sentences, we can see that the subject and the verb are enough to show a complete thought. However, sometimes a third part is needed to complete the thought. We call this a complement. A complement completes the meaning begun by the subject and verb. For example, or for your examples, Jordan, the subject, is the verb. Jack made. Jack is the subject, made is the verb. He often tells. He is the subject, tells is the verb. But as you can see, the thought is not complete, even with the subject and the verb in this statement or in these statements. So how are we going to locate complements? We need to ask the questions who, whom, or what after the verb. In later lessons, you will learn to identify the various kinds of complements. But for now, let us focus on how to locate them. And again, you need to ask the questions who, whom, or what after the verb in order for you to locate or to know where is the complement in the sentence. For example, Jordan is the best speller in our class. Jordan, the subject, is the verb, and we should ask who, whom, or what is Jordan. In this sentence, speller is the complement. It comes after the verb and it describes Jordan. Jordan is speller. Jordan, subject, is verb, speller, complement. Another example, Jack made the winning basket last night. Jack, the subject, made the verb, and then you ask who, whom, or what after the verb. Who made, whom made, or what made. The answer? Basket. Basket is the complement in this sentence. Jack made basket. It is not the winning, or it is not last night. Those are just modifiers. Do not be confused. The complement, or what Jack made in the sentence, is basket. So please note that complements cannot be within prepositional phrases, like the subject that we have talked about last week. Subjects and complements, both of them cannot be within prepositional phrases. They cannot be an object or objects of the prepositions. So we're done quickly with complements. And now we will look into sentences and fragments. We will learn how to recognize sentences as well as fragments. Are you ready? What is a sentence? I believe you already know this, but for a review, a sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. It always has a subject and a predicate. Like what I said last week, we cannot consider a statement as a sentence if it only contains or consists of a subject but without a verb or a predicate. Or we cannot consider it a sentence if it only has predicate or verb without a subject. It always has to carry both the subject and the predicate. And again, it must express a complete thought. Example: neutral men are the devil's allies. In this sentence, men is the subject, allies is the verb or the predicate. It's not neutral. Neutral is just a modifier of the word or the subject men, as well as the devil's ally. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It is, again, let me repeat that. Neutral men are the devil's allies. Okay, it is men, subject, are verb or predicate. It is not neutral, subject, or neutral is not the subject. And again, are is the verb. And we can see we have here a complement, and that is allies. Okay, I hope you got that clearly. I'm sorry, I got excited a while ago, so I made a mistake. Okay, moving on. What is a fragment? So we have seen and we have reviewed what a sentence is. I believe it is already clear to you right now. As of this moment, you already understand completely what a sentence is. Now, what is a fragment? First, a fragment is a separated sentence part that does not express a complete thought. Again, it is a separated sentence part. It is just a part of a sentence and it does not express a complete thought, unlike a sentence that can stand alone. Fragments cannot stand alone. For example, after I finished my work. It's a fragment. Does that make sense to you? After I finished my work. What now? Well, it does not make sense to me unless we correct it or we supply something to it. After I finished my work, I helped others. And now it makes sense. It has a complete thought because there are words that were supplied to it. So a while ago, we only had after I finished my work, and now we have I helped others. And together, They convey a complete thought. They make sense. Another example, running the fast break to perfection. Running the fast break to perfection. It does not make sense. But with this, running the fast break to perfection, our team won easily. Again, running the fast break to perfection, our team won easily. It's already a sentence from a fragment with no complete thought. It became a sentence just because you added a subject and a verb or a predicate. If you can observe, the same goes for the first example. We added a subject and a verb or a predicate. Last example, the capital and the largest city of Greece. What is that? The capital and the largest city of Greece. What happened to it? Here we made it complete, adding Athens, the capital and the largest city of Greece. And this part has many ancient structures. So now it has a complete thought. Athens, the capital and the largest city of Greece, has many ancient structures. So that is how you cure or you correct a fragment. You add a verb and a subject to it, or you reattach it to a part or to the part of the sentence from which it was detached or from where it was detached. Next, so we're done with recognizing complements as well as subjects or sentences rather and fragments. And now we are proceeding to correcting run-on sentences. What are run-on sentences? Well, run-on sentence or a run-on sentence is two or more sentences written incorrectly as one sentence. I repeat, run-on sentences are two or more sentences written incorrectly as one sentence. It is supposed to be two sentences but joined together as one. And because it was joined together as one, it did not give the proper meaning, or it appeared in a wrong way. Okay, it did not give the proper sense of the sentence. Here we have an example. Our minds are given us our characters we make. So as you can hear or as you can see, it is quite confusing. Our minds are given us our characters we make because there are no punctuations or there is no punctuation between the sentences. And now we are going to correct it. It becomes, our minds are given us our characters we make. So again, a run-on sentence is two or more sentences written incorrectly as one sentence. As you can see on the first example, they are two sentences joined together, and so they conveyed or it conveyed a wrong meaning. It is confusing. But here, when we corrected it, we put a period between the words us and our, and so it became proper or it sounded correct. Our minds are given us, our characters we make. And of course, it now makes sense. Another example, who can estimate the worth of a priceless reputation? Who can redeem it if it is lost? Or allow me to repeat it. Who can estimate the worth of a priceless reputation? Who can redeem it if it is lost? So there is only a comma between the sentences, as you can observe. So let's notice how this one will be corrected. Who can estimate the worth of a priceless reputation? Who can redeem it if it is lost? Okay, so here it sounded correctly compared to the first one, which is it was still a run-on with no comma in between the sentences. Okay, so here are two questions, first joined together, separated only by a comma, but correcting it, we separated them completely and made it from one sentence to two sentences with sense, with complete thought, with complete sense. Who can estimate the worth of a priceless reputation? Who can redeem it if it is lost? Another, Pastor Harrison came to visit right after dinner. Then he left to make a hospital call. Corrected, we read, Pastor Harrison came to visit right after dinner. Then he left to make a hospital call. If you can notice, it was considered run-on when it consisted of a comma and the word then coming after it. Well, the word then is not a conjunction and it cannot be used alone with a comma to join independent clauses. Okay? So we make this common mistake, I believe, as I can see in many areas of writing or even in social media. I can see many people writing this way. I, for one, honestly. Okay? But here I stand corrected. And again, then or the word then is not a conjunction. So we cannot use it after a comma. Okay? It needs to be in another sentence. It needs to be after a period at least. Okay? And so again, we read the corrected one. Pastor Harrison came to visit right after dinner. Then he left to make a hospital call. So that is how we are supposed, or those are ways on how we can correct run-on sentences. We divide one sentence with a period, making them two sentences. Next is, or another technique is adding what is supposed, or taking away the comma that joins two sentences and punctuating it correctly, as what you have seen on the second example. We put question mark after the first sentence, and again that made it from one sentence to two sentences. And then lastly, I hope you'll remember this one and not make the common mistake again of using the word then just after the comma. Okay? And that's it for week 2 of Advanced Communication Skills. I hope to see you on our consultation time, and I hope that you enjoyed this short lesson, and I also hope that you will study hard and take care, of course. And for better understanding, if there will be a part that will be confusing to you in this lesson, I suggest that you go over this video lecture again, or you read your module, okay? Or you ask help from your classmates if you would also want to. But you can, of course, wait for our consultation time and ask me about it, about what you're not, or about what you're confused about. I'm sorry. I hope I made myself clear. So I will see you in our consultation time, and God bless.